Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. Earlier this season, Tennessee ended a 5-game losing streak to Florida. They are now looking to end a streak that is 3 times longer, as the Volunteers have lost 15 straight games to Alabama. The Volunteers have not defeated the Crimson Tide since 2006, but this feels like the year that it could all change. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys, ready to break down, analyze, and predict the huge matchup on Saturday. Number 3 Alabama, number 6 Tennessee in Knoxville, the third Saturday in October. We're going to be in for a good one. As always, guys, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Guys, some of the best college football and NFL spread picks in the country over there, hitting over 60% of our bets, over 82% on the money line. We want you to go take advantage of those. Sign up for those today and become a part of our GE Nation. Again, the link for that down in the description below. Come join our team today. So let's take a look at this, guys. I mean, what a matchup. What a matchup. Number 3, number 6 in Knoxville. Tennessee looking to end the streak. Have lost 15 straight to the Crimson Tide. They already got over one of their rivals in Florida. Can they do it again over Alabama? This is the first top 10 matchup between Alabama and Tennessee since 2016. Alabama won that game 49-10 in Knoxville. And I can tell you right now, I don't think we're going to be in for that type of game. Do not think we're going to be in for a blowout on either side. This should be a hard-fought, close, and physical game, one that Tennessee actually does have a legitimate chance of winning. So let's take a look at the personnel. Let's see what we're going up against here. We start with Alabama and the offense. The Crimson Tide should have a healthy Bryce Young for this game. That's first and foremost, guys. That's the big storyline. Bryce Young missed last week's victory over Texas A&M. Jalen Milroe played that game, and Alabama nearly lost. They survived Texas A&M 24-20, but committed 4 turnovers in the process. Young should be back, should be fully healthy, ready to go to lead an offense that's averaging 44.3 points per game and over 500 yards per game. Alabama doing it in a phenomenal way, a very balanced way, over 240 passing yards per game, over 257 rushing yards per game. They can do it all. They can beat you on all levels and all aspects of the game. Bryce Young so far this year, guys, has thrown for over 1,200 yards and 14 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs has kind of burst onto the scene at running back for Alabama. Kind of had a very slow start transferring in from Georgia Tech, but now is the leading rusher for the team, 532 yards and 2 touchdowns on the year. The one thing that is kind of holding Alabama back, or has kind of been their struggle this year, is the fact they don't really have that go-to wide receiver like they have in the past. You know, they don't have a Devontae Smith. They don't have a Jalen Waddle. They don't have a Jamison Williams. They don't have that go-to target like they have in all these previous years. Trayshawn Holden is the top wide receiver right now for Alabama, has 223 yards on the year. 7 players do have over 100 reception yards. 9 different players have at least 1 reception touchdown. So Bama's spreading it out, but they don't have the big playmakers in the wide receiver core like they have in years past. And that has, to me, kind of been a reason why they've struggled a little bit and why Bryce Young has kind of struggled to find chemistry with this offense. When you look at Tennessee, though, look at Tennessee, man, one of the best offenses in the country. They are electric. They are fast. They are high scoring. And it ultimately starts, guys, with Hendon Hooker, their quarterback, a legitimate Heisman candidate going into this game. Over 1,400 yards passing on the year, 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Has not thrown a single interception this year. Leads an attack that's averaging over 340 passing yards per game, over 540 total yards per game. So over 340 through the air, over 200 on the ground. People say that's not balanced, but it is. When you're averaging over 200 rushing yards per game, that is pretty dang good. And ultimately, guys, what this comes down to, we've been saying this for weeks on end now, really years on end now, to beat Alabama, you have to throw the ball. To beat Alabama, you have to throw. And Tennessee not only can do that, but they have the coaching to do that, to recognize that. Some other teams, not so much. You look at Tennessee and the guys they have supporting Hendon Hooker. Got a guy like Jalen Hyatt, 388 reception yards, 5 touchdowns this year. Brew McCoy, who finally settled on a school, has been playing very good football for Tennessee this season. Cedric Tillman has been hurt these last few weeks. Hopefully he could be back for this game against Alabama. If he is, it gives Tennessee a significant boost. If not, I wouldn't say it's a horrible blow because Tennessee has done just fine without him these last few weeks, but it would be huge to get him back for this game against the Crimson Tide. Regardless of who's playing and who's not, Hendon Hooker, as long as he's under center, is going to pose the biggest threat that Alabama has seen this year. This will be the best offense that Alabama has seen this year. No doubt about it. And you look at Alabama's defense and you say, how are they going to handle it? How are they going to handle Josh Heupel's offense? Bama's defense has been pretty good this year. I think people have kind of dogged on it. They had that close win over Texas. They had the close win over Texas A&M. They haven't looked Bama-like these last few weeks, and yet they're still undefeated, still number 3 team in the country, and were number 1 last week prior to their win over Texas A&M. They're averaging allowing just 12.5 points per game and allowing just 250 total yards per game. But like we mentioned, they haven't seen an offense like Tennessee's. Look at the numbers, guys. We said to beat Alabama, for any team, you have to throw the ball. You got to take good care of the ball, and you've got to throw it. In the 2 games that Alabama nearly lost, their opponents threw it, and they threw it well. Against Texas, the Longhorns had 292 passing yards. And had Quinn Ewers not gone down in that game, Texas very well could have won that game. Last week, against Texas A&M, the Aggies had 253 passing yards in that game. All the other opponents that Alabama has faced, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, the other cupcake teams, no other team has eclipsed over 190 passing yards. So Alabama has held all their other opponents to under 200 passing yards, but the 2 games where they nearly lost, they allowed both over 250. Tennessee, I can guarantee you, will hit over 250 passing yards on the day against Alabama. The Crimson Tide only have 3 takeaways this season. They do have 18 sacks. They are able to create pressure. They still have phenomenal playmakers in the secondary. They have the anchor of the defense in Will Anderson in that linebacking core. They're only allowing 166 passing yards per game, but that's going to change by the time Saturday is over. No doubt about it. When you look at Tennessee and their defense, guys, they are clearly not as good statistically as Alabama. They're allowing 396.6 yards per game, so over 146 yards more than Alabama is allowing on average. Tennessee has one of the worst secondaries in the nation, giving up over 307 passing yards per game. It's not really what you want to hear. It's nice to know that Alabama doesn't have those big-time wide receiver playmakers that they have in the past, but when you get your starting quarterback back in Bryce Young, that's not what you want to hear for that secondary. I mean, Tennessee gave up 453 passing yards to Florida. They gave over 300 passing yards to LSU. And yes, many will say, well, the reason LSU put up so many was because they got down so early and had to battle back. Still 300 passing yards. And even if you don't want to look at those, they gave up quite a bit to Ball State. They gave up quite a bit to Pittsburgh. They've given up quite a bit to even their cupcake opponents. The secondary just simply isn't that great. But what Tennessee does well is force turnovers. They have forced 10 turnovers this year. And I believe they're going to be able to pick off Bryce Young or force a fumble, whatever, at least once in this game. And typically when you play Tennessee, if you make a mistake, that offense is going to make you pay for it. No doubt about it. Tennessee's only giving up 89.2 rushing yards per game. So, again, if they can bottle up that run game, if they can bottle up Jahmyr Gibbs and force Bryce Young to win the game through the air, they've got a legitimate chance here. Making Alabama one-dimensional is the key. That is the key. And we say that against every game. Throw the ball effectively. Take care of the football. Tennessee does that. 0 interceptions so far from Hendon Hooker. And then obviously make your opponent, and Alabama, make them one-dimensional. That is how you beat the Crimson Tide. That is how you do it. So what's going to happen in Knoxville on Saturday, guys? Can Tennessee end the streak? I mean, number 3, number 6, 15-game losing streak. College game days there. It's going to be one of the best atmospheres that we have seen in a long, long time. Can Tennessee pull off the massive upset? Can they do it? Yes. Yes, they can. We are picking Tennessee to upset Alabama. Look, guys, Alabama, guys, as we mentioned earlier, for many has not been overly impressive. They struggled versus Texas. Again, in a game where Quinn Ewers was lighting up that secondary and probably would have won the game for Texas had he not gotten hurt. They allowed Arkansas to battle back in that game. They were up 28-0. Arkansas was only down 5 heading into the fourth quarter before they ultimately collapsed. They nearly lost to Texas A&M. Yes, Alabama was playing with the backup quarterback, but they were very un-Bama-like. 4 turnovers, lots of penalties. They forced them into mistakes. And again, they have to play a clean game to survive Knoxville. Against Texas, they were riddled by penalties. Against Texas A&M, committed a lot of turnovers. You're going to make mistakes. It's bound to happen, but they're making more mistakes than we have typically seen from a Nick Saban squad. Ultimately, guys, I don't see Tennessee making that many mistakes. They haven't made many this year. They're not getting penalized that often. They're taking very good care of the football. They've got an electric passing attack that, again, this offense and this atmosphere will be the toughest and best that Alabama has seen all year. Again, Bryce Young has not been that great on the road. He's had, 5 true road starts? 4 of them have been decided by 3 points or less. I think the streak ends on Saturday. I think Tennessee pulls off the massive upset, takes down Alabama, and shakes up everything. They shake up the SEC title race. They shake up the college football playoff picture, and the Volunteers will be undefeated by the end of Week 7 and will be taken seriously as a college football playoff contender. So, guys, there you have it. We are picking a massive upset here. Tennessee over Alabama, 3rd Saturday in October. Get ready. It's the game of the week. But until then, guys, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and, of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. We want you to take advantage of those picks. Sign up today. Better than over 80% of the national analysts. So go sign up. Become a part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time right here on The Gridiron Expert.